was just reading this message from our publicist.
Okay.
Yeah, so good news. You're tuned into another episode of Access Granted. Your boy,
Yes.
Mr. Antoine, in the building as always, and big welcome back to my sister.
Yes.
My sister, I missed you last week, man.
Oh, I missed y'all. But y'all, I was dealing with some stuff, and thank you for your prayers that and your thoughts. I heard it, and I really appreciate it.
I'm gonna go ahead and put this out there because I'm not even gonna lie. You know, y'all like family. I've known y'all like forever, ever. So when I get that inbox, at that time of morning, and I read it, I'm like, oh man. And I've learned over the years to not automatically just go into the negative thoughts.
Right.
She's gonna be okay. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
And then when you hit me back a little bit later and told me what it was and that she was getting ready to have the procedure done and everything, I was like, man, that's kind of. And then you hit me back a little bit later. It felt like an hour later, and it's like she's home.
She's home, right? Exactly. We're on our way home. I think that's what I said, right?
No, I think you already had her home at that point when you hit me the last.
Yeah, because we got home. Oh my gracious! Because it was snowing. It was snowing so bad in Cumberland. Anyone that's listening to this that knows about Cumberland, Maryland, it's in between mountains, surrounded, and it was snowing so bad. And then we had to, of course, go back up to her school to get her laptop and her and her books and things. But I'm telling you, I definitely appreciate all the prayers for those who definitely sent up a prayer for her, because she was blessed. Because anyone that has had their appendix removed, they'll understand what I'm saying. It didn't burst.
Amen.
She felt a pain, and she couldn't, like, she was having trouble walking. So she went, they touched her side, and they was just like, oh, we need to go look at this. So when you feel the pain, y'all, I don't care what age you are, please go to the doctors. Please go to the emergency room. Have yourself checked out to make sure, because that saved her from having her appendix bursting, and for her having to really, not have it laparoscopically, but, of course, having to be cut. And she didn't have to be, because she, one of the times she did listen to me, she listened to her body. And went.
The most important thing.
Yeah. So she's showing me that she can be, she's being responsible. She's being responsible with her life.
Yeah.
And that's what you want from your college student.
Let me tell you something. For what I pay in healthcare, doesn't take much for me to go to the doctor anymore.
What you say? You be running, right? See your smoke.
Oh my God, I got a hangnail. Oh, time
right. Paper cut. Have a whole paper cut. So no, I did that. It was scary because of the time, of course.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I got responsibilities. Let me send out my messages. And when we get there, and as we were going through the process, the more you're educated, the better. And when they told us, and I don't know, I'm not in the medical field, but they say you don't need your appendix. I'm like, Lord, you giving us extra. I'm like, we getting all these extra parts, so we don't need it. So take it out.
Sounds like IKEA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just got the extra parts that we don't need. Just throw those in the box and save those for another project or something like that.
Exactly.
That's like, crazy.
So yeah. So other than that, I mean, it's been good. It's been a full week of trying to get back in the groove of things, and
absolutely.
It's been good.
I'm sorry, just excuse me for 30 seconds. I'm trying to.
Oh, okay.
Share this post around a couple places, because we got a legend in the building, man. And I don't give that word to everyone. So when I use that word, I feel like y'all need to pay attention, and we need to spread the word.
Unless they be singing the song and don't know the name.
Ah, see, you went there. I wasn't even going to mention that. I wasn't
Like,
even going to mention that part. That was hilarious when you said that earlier.
I was like, and I don't mean no harm. That's with anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody, everybody.
I did get word that he'll be here in about 5 minutes. So
Okay,
definitely.
great.
Oh, wait a minute. She's hitting me back again. Let's make sure. Okay. So yeah, so I'm one of those people. I like music that's kind of like timeless. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I appreciate the fact that in my early 50s now, and there's still certain music that you can throw on, like if you're at a party and everybody in the party, you know, regardless of the age, is going to recognize the song and they're going to get up and they're going to party. Case in point, you throw Poison on at a party.
That's it.
I've seen 5 and 6 year olds get up like they were there when the song was created. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shout out to everybody that's tuning in with us so far. Be sure you guys share this video. But yeah, I've seen like, and I've seen like 10-year-old kids that know Poison word for word.
Yeah.
People that know like It Takes Two to Make a Thing Go Right. Like
that's my song.
Like so, you know, there's just certain songs I think that, you know, have stood the test of time and you know, people recognize as soon as as soon as the song comes on. And I feel like The Choice Is Yours is one of those songs because as I said on the post earlier, if you don't know no other part of that song, when it says engine number 9 on the New York Transit line, you know that and you know what to do.
Pump it up.
You know what I mean? Right, exactly. Boom, exactly.
So, I told you.
So, you know, when I have the opportunity to you know, to talk to people, you know, that have been a part of this and, you know, that have made this kind of music and, you know, have stood the test of time, I personally consider it an honor, you know. And the one thing that I try to do, and this is one of the few times when I really do a lot of homework because you have to figure these people have been around for so long, they've done so many interviews that you don't want it to feel like the same interview, but at the same time, you know, there's stuff that people want to know. And, you know, we have to figure out, you know, as the great media journalists that we are, how to, you know, navigate and, you know, you don't want to get that look where it's like, oh man, you're asking me this question too, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be
good.
Looking forward to it.
Pump it up because I'm ready to do that.
All right, so I'll tell you what. While we're waiting for him, this is what we do. I told you that I popped up a video earlier, and while we're waiting, we'll go ahead and get into the video. I have learned a very valuable lesson that when you are playing stuff on this platform, that it's best to try to find a live version of the song instead of playing the actual song.
Okay.
And as we're saying that, we can now cancel because I see the brother popping up in the back.
Oh, he's on. He's backstage, y'all.
Timing right there. That's timing right there. He knew he was getting ready to go to the live video. He's like, nah, let me just go ahead and pop in, man. So again, as I said, I don't use that L word lightly when it comes to anybody. Like I think that there are certain criteria, especially in music, that you have to have in order for me to even think about using that L word. And standing the test of time and having that timeless music is, to me, you know, the views expressed by Mr. Antoine or those of Mr. Antoine and not necessarily those of Access Granted or the YouTube, you know, whatever. And, so, you know, and to me, this is one of those. And I watched the interview of him not too long ago. It was an older interview, and somebody called him the L word, and he was like, I'm not an L word, I'm just a normal person. And that meant everything to me, you know what I'm saying? Because
he's humble.
I love the humbleness, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them would be like, well, you're damn right I'm a legend, you know, I did this, I did that.
Y'all better call me a legend.
You know, like So I mean, without and
I'm just saying.
I'm laughing at that because again, I feel like it's a word that's thrown around so lightly. So like,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
I heard somebody call Soldier Boy a legend. Shout out to Soldier Boy. Shout out to Soldier Boy. Total 100% respect for what you've been able to do in the game as an artist, as a producer, and all of that other stuff. You're not a legend in my book, bro. I'm sorry, you're not a legend in my book. And I'm gonna just leave
Disclaimer.
it at that. I'm gonna just leave it at that
Disclaimer.
and bring our special guest for the evening up from the legendary group Black Street, straight out of Astoria, Queens. One of the many MCs that have come out of that legendary borough, Dres from Black Sheep, is in the building. My brother.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Look, cook me 150 grains of rice. I'm a goddamn legend. And turn that soldier boy up. Now, what we talking about?
And make sure you sit there and count them all out one by one.
He said 150 grams.
You know what I'm saying? Grains. Not grams.
Hey, bro. And thank you for coming on and just making us bust out laughing straight from the door, man.
Thanks for having me.
Well, welcome to Access Granted, my brother. This is
Yes.
definitely an honor and a privilege to have you in the building, man. Got a lot of people tuned in on YouTube and on Facebook right now, man, that are big, huge fans of yours.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I want to do before we even get into this is I want to send again our thoughts and condolences to the family of DJ K Slay, who we lost recently.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you, Dres, before we even get into the conversation, anything that you might want to say on that point, or if you have any thoughts that you want to give about K Slay.
Definitely my condolences to all his friends and family. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he definitely was someone I didn't really have a personal relationship with him. But the comings and goings, the ebbs and flows, you know what I'm saying? Got a chance to see him from afar implementing his authenticity into the game. You know what I'm saying? So definitely gonna be missed, and definitely my condolences to his family.
Now, last week I said that he was DJ Khaled before DJ Khaled was even thought of, and I feel like that rubbed a couple of millennials the wrong way. But I stand by. I stand by.
You saw his face in agreement.
I stand by.
It's like the millennials get rubbed the wrong way, rubbing themselves. Like it's crazy at this point.
Right. Someone had to come before to pave a way.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Khaled. Like, stop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, stop it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gotten to the point where I don't even know what Khaled does. Does Khaled even play anything? You know what? Yeah, it doesn't even matter. Just to say, like, I've never. All right, yeah.
We got him scratching his head on that one.
Yeah, because it's like, kids are everybody, it seems, not even the kids. Everybody's so sensitive. Everybody's so hypersensitive.
Yeah.
And it's become annoying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The thing that I try to tell people is stop acting like music started when you started listening to music.
Yeah.
Stop acting like the NBA, was created when your favorite player started playing. It's a reason that they're celebrating 75 years, of NBA ball this year, man. Because, but sensitive, man, is the right word.
Oh, man. It's like you're not allowed to not like something anymore.
Exactly. And as soon as you do, as soon as you don't like a person, you're a hater.
Yeah.
You are a hater.
It's not even that I don't like the person. I don't like their music.
You know
what I'm saying? That's like not liking their sneakers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm allowed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm glad you went right to the right word. You're a hater once you voice your opinion. And that was done, I think, for a very specific reason, because it now it backs off the integrity. It backs off you having to meet height requirements.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like now anybody could do anything, and anyone with anything to the contrary to say is a hater.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that gives them a little bit of free reign to exist.
Yeah.
Whereas when we was, coming up and the music was a lot younger, like you had to have an ability. You had to have like a special ability, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? In not necessarily really as far as like, like had to be an X-Men or nothing, but just say you had to be authentically you.
Yeah.
And these days, these kids have bought into the idea of a blueprint or of a schematic to follow. That's why every song on the radio sounds like
the same.
Like it's to the same track, it's to the same tempo. And they're talking about the same thing. It's all an extension of each other. And this is the perfect time for a young artist to come out and just be himself and win. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's so caught up in emulating success. You know what I'm saying? That none of them are successful. It's kind of bug. It's a bug time in music. But I find it to be a time though that it's a lot of opportunity. It's a lot of opportunity right now. All you got to do is just not be them. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna stand out.
But do you think they fear that? Do you think they fear doing that?
I just spoke at a high school the other day. That the Dilla Foundation granted MPCs. You know what I'm saying? So these kids are coming to class that have MPCs, computers, and a sound booth. This is class. They can literally come and record at lunch. You know what I'm saying? And so like there's a level of when like they take things for granted because they didn't have to do anything for them. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lack of understanding. There's a lack of history. The same way there is about blackness to the youth. You know what I'm saying? Like a youth that has an understanding of blackness, that's very deliberately given to them. Right. When we were young, that was a given. The community bestowed that. You know what I'm saying? Dashikis were, you passing afros, you're passing dashikis, you understand. Even the music was, there was natives, there was, you know what I'm saying, there was the public enemies, there were, the teachers and things thereof. None of that is here today. Right. You know what I'm saying? That it's all been, monetized. It's all been branded. And it's all something that is franchised. Like it's easy now. But what we've effectively done, in my opinion, and this is very much my opinion, what we've effectively done is prisons have become one of the biggest businesses in our country. Privatized prisons. And like it's the same game. It's just it's the same shit, different toilet. Like America got rich off of free labor. You know what I'm saying? Right now, there's more prisons in America than if you combine all of the prisons in every other country. You know what I'm saying? There's more prisons in America. Right. And to say that the federal government pays states to keep the prisons full. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't get money because you needed help because it wasn't full. You get help because it is full. It's full. The agenda, who are they going to put into all these prisons? Well, they're not going to put their kids into these prisons. Right. You know what I'm saying? They're going to put the children of slaves that closest to cattle, in their opinion. You know what I'm saying? They're going to put into these prisons. And all right, well, how do we get these kids into these prisons? Well, let's effectively take away anything that might be trying to tell them something to the contrary. Let's play the same thing across the whole country. Let's have all of the power stations and all of the hot stations. Let's have them all play the exact same thing, and that exact same thing has to be something that makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? And if we can get the kids, you know what I'm saying, to buying into this, and the girls buying into this perception of it, the result will be there. Right. And the prisons are full. And right now, you know what I'm saying, like one of the best investments that you can have would be, you know what I'm saying, investing in these privatized prisons. all kinds of people that we know of are vested. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so, like, you know, and like I said, like this, you know, it's definitely a theory. But if you step back from it, we are the children of slaves. We're talking about free labor. We're talking about, you know what I'm saying, removing something they deem a threat. Let's remove it from our presence. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to give young black kids 2 felonies by the time they're 18. So at 21, we ain't ever got to see them again. And you know, and our conversation has become equality.
Right.
But the system isn't structured for equality.
No.
It's a moot point. You know what I'm saying? It's not about equality today until they go back into their books that all of the laws were set up to keep us disenfranchised. You know what I'm saying? All of the things that were set up to keep us disenfranchised hasn't been readdressed. We still hear about, the anti-lynching law from 1924 is, that just is going to cease. What? Like, you know, the things that they haven't readdressed are things that are still on the books, and we take it so, it's not going to bother us. It's not going to affect us. Oh, they wouldn't do that.
They wouldn't. That's
kind
of what they're doing low key with the Voting Rights Act now. Like
I'm saying everything that I'm saying falls into all of this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, what our conversation has become, fuck equality. It's when was it equal? It's never been equal.
Right.
Never.
So we're looking for something that doesn't even exist for us. It's never existed. So the conversation isn't about give me equality. The conversation is how do I navigate less equality?
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? That's
there
the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Why are we asking these motherfuckers to give us something?
Right.
Why? We could be talking to each other about how we navigate the terrain. And that's where kids are losing.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to structure. They don't know how they don't know how to study. They don't know how to do much. And the thing that's really crazy is that they represent someone 4 generations ago,
right,
that couldn't sit in that chair.
Right.
They represent someone 4 or 5 generations ago that couldn't have the opportunities that they freely turned their back to. And our conversation has to not become belittling to them. We don't need to, talk shit to them because they're squandering. We need to ignite them with the right words. The right words are that, young man, literally you, 4 generations ago, would have kicked your ass. Because people have died.
Right.
People have died.
Wow.
For your
to not sit in that chair.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Have died. You know what I'm saying? And they tried to say that you weren't capable. They tried to say that you weren't able to even maintain the basic knowledge that they have. And like, you're capable of excelling. Like every generation, we need to have our kids taking it further. You know what I'm saying? Like most of us represent first, a lot of times you'll hear, I'm the first in my family to go to college. You know what I'm saying? And that's for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're only, like, the time moves quickly. I know I'm talking a lot, but pardon me, but just say the time moves quickly. 4 generations ago wasn't that long ago. 3 generations wasn't that long ago. And to say, like, 3, 4 generations ago, we didn't have college graduates in Black families, primarily. You know what I'm saying? That was a rarity.
Right.
5 generations, it definitely was a rarity. You know what I'm saying? So now we have, and not to say that college is the end all, but the education of life, wisdom is the end all. You can be book smart and be dumb as a brick. You know what I'm saying?
Box of rocks. Yep.
Right.
Box of rocks. Yep.
Right. We want wisdom. You know what I'm saying? We want understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like, book smarts, like they, they're good for certain things, but we have to be beyond them. and our whole conversation has
Yes.
to be elevated. We talk so much about the bar being lowered. When we start doing that,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, why are we so comfortable with going back to not being in the classroom? Why are we comfortable with going back to not being accepted in a room, or going back to not, you know what I'm saying, respecting our community? You know what I'm saying? Like, we've gotten to this place where we're literally on autopilot. They don't really even have to interact with us to get the result that they want.
Right.
Full presence. You know what I'm saying? Full presence, and us not in their view. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we manifest culture. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have culture without us. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even something that we're not gonna do again. That's who we are.
Right.
They'll always feed off of us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we'll always feed off the land. But we got to stop eating each other. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop eating each other. The elders and the youth are eating the elders, and the elders are chastised. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
we got to stop. We got to stop all the way around, because at the end of the day, one of the things that they took away from us was education. But the other thing they took away from us that we don't talk about was family. You know what I'm saying? And family structure is everything.
It's paramount.
Family structure, paramount. Family structure is the difference in the kids in the street right now and the kids in the house right now. You know what I'm saying? Family structure is the difference in grades. Family structure, you know what I'm saying, is something that they denied us, like a book. We don't speak to it. We don't speak to how our families were broken down and sent in different directions. And just like us not learning, us not having relatives was equally important in the disenfranchisement of Black people. You know what I'm saying? Now, you fast forward today, and I'll show you something really simple that breaks down what I'm talking about. One of the most, I would say, heralded Black people in America, with probably some of the most the most advantageous opportunities any person, let alone a Black person, could have, fell short on camera, slapped another man on camera. And as much as we want to talk about what the subtext is, if you step back further, the real subtext is that man, a father in that man's life, would have showed him what you do when the first time you attempt to do something, you don't do it correctly. He attempted to do something and he didn't do it correctly. So then he overcompensated because he didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? He had no point of reference. A simple conversation with a father would have introduced to him, yo, yeah, you're not gonna always, it's not gonna always happen. And sometimes even in your marriage, whatever might happen, but these are some of the things you can do. So, you know what I'm saying? And little simple things like that, we take for granted because we don't have it. You know what I'm saying? We grow up without it. So there's no point of reference. So when you have no point of reference, he did what he thought
the best he could with what he could. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not none of that was authentic. None of that was who he was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that lack of center comes from a lack of family. You know what I'm saying? And if that gifted and blessed man fell short, what are the rest of Black folks supposed to do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We have so much to do with each other at this point that, you know what I'm saying, like we got to readdress a lot. And you know, I know, you know, it's always just words, but hopefully, you know, like hopefully we start pooling our resources. That's another thing we need to do that we don't do, that will make a difference. You know, we now have bunches of millionaires. We didn't have, when I came into music, All of the cats that are millionaires today, none of them existed as millionaires. None of them, not one of them was a millionaire. Now we've got hundreds of millionaires, and cats would rather throw $50,000 at a stripper than
invest back in the community.
Yeah, then their cousin's business plan for 20.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the mentality has become something that is just so far from who we are, you know, and it's important. I think I'm one of the people before, you know, I'm getting older, but before I go, I think it's important that I get a real piece of money, because I think it's important to illustrate by example, and to reach out to certain cats that got it and be like, yeah, I know nobody's called you before, and I didn't call you before because I didn't have it, but I got it now, and I'm calling you because I'm gonna put up the first piece of money, but I need all of y'all,
everybody,
to put in, you know, and we're gonna do this every year. You know what I'm saying? And we'll make a list of causes, and we'll just go down it. The time is gonna go by. Our lifetime is gonna go by.
Yeah.
Let's be responsible for something that fucking took place in it. That was real. The time is gonna go by. Why leave it to somebody else talking about give me equality? Fuck out of here. The people with the people with the power would have revenue is power. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's just, that's just what it is. Period.
Capitalist
and you can't you can't get away from that. Capital is the power.
Yeah.
So we have to start pooling our resources. But another thing we also have to do is we have to understand our power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're powerful together. Look at what the Black vote did when we come together. You know what I'm saying? Like we alter shit.
Yeah.
But we don't recognize our power. It's almost like we recognize it by mistake. And it's also that we give our power to other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
No more. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's time for us to pool resources and for us to establish code. You know what I'm saying? And when cats go against code, leave them there.
Leave them there.
Right.
It's not an argument. It's, we black folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be black folks? Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Bye.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You stay over there. I'm going this way.
Right. I'm going this way.
Right.
Because, you know, like at the end of the day, you know, like the people that don't want to be with us, they don't realize that the people that they want to be with don't want them with them.
Yep.
So let them find out on their own.
Yep.
That's their life journey. You know what I'm saying? And them in the next generation might join us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they still got some shit to learn.
You
know what I'm saying? From generations ago. That was them generations ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And all that shit was just handed down, who they were. So let's our next selves take our shit further.
Right.
Ain't no lowered bars here. We not gonna lower no bars. Not here. Word up. And y'all that lower the bar, cool. I'm walking right over it.
Right.
Word up, walking right over it.
We don't even have to jump at that point. We can,
you know what I'm saying?
A normal step.
Push them to the side.
Right? Yeah, word up. Yeah, man, they got it so low. You could do the wiggle, the worm. You can worm.
So let me ask you this, bro, and this can kind of tie into the music, because I felt like Native Tongue was a collective that could have done exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And been not only a major influence music wise, but because of what you guys talked about and what you guys stood for collectively, you guys could have had such a major impact to our people and to the world. Yeah. So like, why didn't you guys like really come together and kind of like, and I mean, we're talking about individuals, so you know, but at the same time, you guys were
talking about collective as well. Yeah. No. This is my word. Like, I was one of the last people in that door, in that Native Tongue door, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as the base, you know what I'm saying? There was definitely extensions, but when we're talking about the base Native Tongues, you know, I was one of the last people that walked into Calliope.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Where we all recorded. You know what I'm saying? And so everybody was them when I got there.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I came when Tribe was working on their first album. So I'm looking at Tribe working on their first album. Jungle was Jungle, De La was De La. You know what I'm saying? Latifah's Latifah. And, they were powerful cats to me walking in the door. But one of the things that I quickly saw was that they didn't realize it. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't, like they knew, but they didn't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because one of the things that I was stressing early was us forming a company. Us, like you can't write a check the native tongue. That shit is embarrassing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like why can't somebody write us a check? Like we, like, and I'm having the conversation. Like, wait, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should be doing so many things ourselves. Like, we can tour ourselves. We can, we can start a record company. We can do collaboration. We can put out a compilation every year and tour it. Like we can do so many things as a business.
Right.
And like, I love them. They're my brothers, and they taught me so much. But they I was told too many chiefs, not enough Indians. I was told, like, we get around to it, this and the other, yeah. And I'm the first hip hop artist to have an imprint. I'm the first hip hop artist to have an imprint with a label. I had a label called One Love, and I brought out this group called the Legion and Image, and I really only did that because I couldn't do what I wanted to do with the natives, but I was trying to show them what I'm talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I got Polygram to give me a deal to bring out other groups. But I'm trying to show them, like, yo, we have leverage. Like the labels that we're doing, we're making them tons of money.
Right.
And we might not realize it because the music business is such a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll get 8, 9, 10 points. Like in signing, you think you're getting something. That's 8, 9, 10%. You know what I'm saying? So there's 90% floating that's not yours.
Wow.
You have 8, 9, 10%, but they position it as points. Sounds like it's more than it is. You know what I'm saying? If they told you have 8, 9, 10%, you'd be like, wait, like, wait a minute. That's the conversation. We gotta have a conversation. We gotta negotiate that.
Right.
But 8, 9, 10 points to a 19, 20, 21-year-old, okay. You know what I'm saying? So there's 90% that I don't own. There's cats that make more money off my music.
Yeah.
And never
stepped in the studio. Never
shook
did
my hand.
Never did anything.
Never shook my. Probably wouldn't even know me walking by.
Right.
And make more money off my music.
I learned that years ago when I found out that, like, out of CDs were like, say, $15, $20 back then, and the artist would make like 8 or 9 cents off of a CD, and I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, that's why they were telling people, don't burn your CDs.
Right. Right. That's why they didn't want you to download it free.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's a problem. We got a problem. Can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's from the old guard. You know what I'm saying? Like that what was done to, like Berry Gordy took that, which he learned and kept it going.
Right.
To which, cats like Puffy kept it going. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many opportunities for us to fix stuff. Now, Berry Gordy's son, Kerry, is doing a lot of fixing, and a big salute to Kerry. He's actually helping me, you know what I'm saying, and a few other artists, but but things can be renegotiated, and like when we've never really realized our power, I think, until now. We're just now starting to ask for the right things. You know what I'm saying? But we're not doing the right things once we get it. You know what I'm saying? But we're just now, like, I've never, like, these kids be talking about, like, yeah, I get 100,000 a show and this and what? Like, like where I'm coming from, I didn't even know that was possible.
Right.
I couldn't even fathom it coming out. What? That's possible? you know, and yeah, and $100 is mother. I want 200. Like, you know, that's what they you know, the branding and the, you know, cross promotion, all of that stuff is there now. Everything, you know, sponsorship, all of that is there, and it's tremendous money. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like, I wish we had the mentality of those that were there, you know, in the formative years today, because we had so many ideas, but we didn't have the revenue.
Right.
And now we got the revenue and the bar's lowered.
Right. But do you think the world is ready for this again?
For what?
You know, for to hear the word, to hear what you're saying, to hear the words, to hear the thoughts. I mean, because you're coming with power and reality, but you know, we're talking about generation that we're saying, hey, we need to set the bar higher, but they're okay with what they have. Do you think that they're really ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, unequivocally. Because and everything you just said is what happened with the natives. You know, like, and I said, yeah, then too. You know, are we ready? Yeah, we're ready. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, we're ready. And it didn't happen. And it didn't happen for the reasons that you're talking about, right? Everybody got comfortable being themselves.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, we don't need to be together because, you know, the shit we was talking about being together was when we needed shit. I don't need nothing anymore. I'm, you know, me as, you know, Tribe Called Quest is, we're fine. Jungle Brothers, you know, we're not up there, but we're okay. We've toured around the world. De La, you know, like, we're not, you know, there, but we're fine. Everybody got to the place where we could maintain ourselves.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So once we got to a space where we could maintain ourselves and family, then the need to be together wasn't a priority anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that was such a mistake.
You
know, it was such a mistake. It was the thing that really showed me the most important thing is family.
Yes.
Is the unity. Is us moving together. That's the most important thing, is us moving together and recognizing that we have the power to change shit. You don't have to ask for nothing. This is my word. Us stepping back from something speaks more to something than our complaints.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, word, y'all gonna do that? Oh, then ain't another black person buying nothing from here.
There you go. Money is power. Back to that capital.
Right. But we're so not on code.
Yes.
There'll be a lot of black people just to spite you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know, and those are the ones that are cool with the low bar. You know what I'm saying? It ain't for us to argue with them.
Right.
It's for us to identify them. Oh, word? Cool. Yeah, we're not gonna ostracize you forever, but since you chose to ostracize yourself, I'm not gonna come get you. Maybe next generation's you has a little more sense, but this generation's you can go play with them.
Right.
It's cool. Well, yeah, go. Yeah, where you got the revenue? I hope you buy better you. You know what I'm saying? Because for real, the you
bars
is horrible.
Yes.
You know, like that's hard. The people with money, they're not good people. You know what I'm saying? They're not strong because you have money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you're not weak because you don't
have money. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some of the strongest men are not very wealthy.
Right.
Their principles and character
prevented
them from walking something that they couldn't stand next to.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a richness that people with money will never afford.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, we got to start identifying the real things that matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the real things that matter is not the watch you wear, the car you drive, you know, or having, you know, 17 extra bedrooms that no one's in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
You know, like, I'm just so not a fan of what we've become.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? because I still walk by who we were.
Mm.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? And like, yo, like, nah, it's time. This is
Yeah.
my word. Me, the me, every generation forward, you're gonna hear about him.
Mm.
The me, every generation moving forward, you're gonna hear about him. And that's how I'm structuring myself and those around me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, period. Like I know who we are. And you know, I just I'm writing this. I'm doing EP. I'm doing a series of EPs. One of the things I've decided to do is to keep myself busy. You know, there's a ton of producers, some old, some new. You know,
Yeah.
new. Some I've known for years. Some I'm just meeting. But everybody that I think is dope, I want to do an EP with you. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just 5 songs. So various producers, literally globally, just to keep busy, I'm just doing 5 songs with different cats. Like, you might not know where it's gonna come from, but you might hear 5 here, 5 here, and I'm just gonna be dropping projects. And those are the lesser projects. I have a really big project that I'm working on right now. D&D. D&D is Dilla and Dres, and there's a documentary and an album that'll be the end of this year or the top of next year. Either or. I can't really put a date on because it's so involved. But in the interim, I'm gonna just be dropping 5 songs, you know, with different cats. And one of the cats that I met, or didn't meet, I had met him before, but just say really got close. I interviewed him for the documentary. Was this guy named DJ Dres out of Detroit. DJ Dres was Dilla. He learned the MPC, pardon me, the drum machine, the same one that Dilla learned on. They learned together. And when I'm interviewing, I'm realizing like, wow, like, you know, like this dude is the closest thing to Dilla that exists. They learned together. So, and I'm talking to him, I'm like, yo, people aren't beating your door down to hear what you're doing. And he's like, nah, you know, he's comfortable. He's not sweating it, but they're not. It's like being, you know, like the protege of Stevie Wonder. You know, like people don't realize who you are.
Right.
No, you know, like that's who he is. He's the, you know, like for intense purpose, that's, you know, he's the protege of Stevie Wonder. You know, say he grew up and learned with Dillo, one of the finest hip hop producers. So I asked him to start sending me stuff. Maybe we could do an EP together. This dude sent me stuff that sat me down and helped me put into rhyme everything that we're talking about.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that was real important to me was that it's not preachy, and that is not on a soapbox. The bar isn't weird, you know, like and I'm not implementing, you know, religion and deity that was given to us by slave masters and things like that. Like if we step back and look at stuff, everything is so structured to make us who we are.
Right.
And I'm not trying to belittle religion, but religion belittles us. You know what I'm saying? And it was given to us. There's not one thing that our masters gave us that was good for us. Not one. So what makes this good? It's merely how they controlled us. That was it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to, I believe in God with all my heart. I pray every day. But I claim no religion, especially a religion given to me by people that kidnap me. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't want what they're giving me. You know what I'm saying? Nothing that they offered me for generations has been fair, has been, you know, has been to the advantage of me and my family, has been the advantage of me and my education, me and my life, me and a livelihood, me leaving something to generations. They make more off of my effort than I do. But want to give me a religion? Nah, I'm good with that. You know, and when I say that, there is no disrespect to God in it.
Right.
Love God with all my heart. I pray every day. Make sure my son, you know, like I'm about a higher power. But yeah, like the higher power, don't fuck with them. Why not? Like how could he? How? It's impossible.
Right.
You know
You're
what I'm saying?
moving different. You're moving different, and your intentions are different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look what you gained off of.
Right.
You know, like money just amplifies who you are.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you're a dick, you just a bigger dick. You know what I'm saying? You know, pause. I guess pause goes in. But just to say, like, but
Wow.
that's it. You know, like if you're cool, then you not have the ability to be much cooler.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just gonna amplify who you are.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's basically it. You know, like you have an opportunity to do some things that matter with it sometimes. And when you don't, you're selling yourself short.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let alone like I used to have this concept when I wrote certain things, and I would imagine being a slave, right? Imagine a slave escaping from the South, no shoes, one outfit, maybe some food if he could, whatever he could carry, and he's out. And he's on the run for days, trying to travel as much at night as he can to get a place called freedom. And he's traveling by foot, probably for days to weeks, to get to a place. And I imagine that this is me in this dark, and I come up on this curtain in the woods. and when I move the curtain to the side, I'm thinking there's freedom on the other side of this curtain,
Mm-hmm.
but there's an audience. What does that dude say to that audience? You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. What does that dude say to that audience about where he's come from, about where he's going, about just about
What he
life?
wants to do. Mm-hmm.
You know, about the sights that he just saw.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like how do you transfer that to an audience?
To help
You know what I'm
them
saying?
get freedom.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because that's how it goes.
Right.
I'm not really free if I'm someplace by myself.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
if it's not we, then it's not free.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got to do this together. Like it's so important. And like we're quick to, a lot of times, we do it right in New York, Brooklyn, Bronx, and then we go, East Coast, West Coast, down south, this and the other. Man, like
As
I
my
wish,
ship says, we are greater.
Right.
I wish
we are greater.
I wish we could understand. I wish we could understand that from each of the coasts and north and south, we all rode the same boat. We sat right next to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like
yep.
9 generations ago, that was us. We were sitting right next to each other.
Died next to each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know
laid on top of each other. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. They came, they took. That was our father they took. That was our mother they raped. That was our little sister they cut a foot off or whatever. You know, like that was us.
Yeah.
Generations ago. You know what I'm saying? And so now we're here. And so we act like that wasn't us. No. That was us. And that hurt. And the little kid that was us walked by and knows what a burning black body smells like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He knows what a burning black body smells like. He knows the little kid that was smiling in the picture that they took. He goes to school with him. You know what I'm saying? Like the realities were different. And these cats are so caught up in what Mona Scott's presenting or what apps are presenting.
Talk about
or
that.
You know what I'm saying? Like and I love Mona. Mona danced in Flavor of the Month. But just to say, but no, that's not who we are. And ain't no love in that hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't represent us. And I expect better. Love you, Mona. I expect better from you. Sincerely, like because you are better. You know what I'm saying? Like when we start becoming cool with the minstrel show, like yo, on the real, like we setting ourselves up to go backwards. We're not going forward.
Wow.
We're going backwards. You know, we were in a place where they had to bomb our cities to stop us.
Right.
They don't have to do that today. We're not that much of a threat, even with money. You know, but we should be.
Right.
You know, the point I was talking about, I wanted to raise when I was saying my man Dres sent me some stuff that sat me down. One of the things that I wrote was, you know, like, you know, lift your head up higher when it makes them cross the street. That's power. Don't. When they get off the elevator or they clutch their bag, that's fucking power. Goddamn right. But I don't want your shit. But you better recognize my power. You know what I'm saying? We have the wrong mentality about shit. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn right, get off across the street because you're not built for endurance. You're not built for to. You know what I'm saying? Like some people do it because we do it despite. So get the fuck on across the street, and I'm gonna lift my head higher so that you can see it better. You know what I'm saying? And that's who we are. I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah, on Higher Learning, that first scene when Omar Epps goes onto the elevator and a little young white girl grabs her purse and he looks at her like, I don't want your purse. Like,
you
probably a poor college student like me. You just might have a little bit more money because you're coming from, you know, whatever part of California you're coming from. But hold up, you said this is Mona Scott dancing in this video? Because I pulled it up as soon as you said it.
Yeah, she's the thickest one.
She's one of the dancers in the black?
Yes, sir. Mona Scott. Right. Yeah, right. You got real roots, Mona. Like, you know, and I see Mona recently, you know, because, you know, you know, we were both really close with Chris Lighty. And so, you know, she did a special for him. And, you know, and Chris was my first manager. And it's, you know, it's unfortunately you know, like she reached out for me to come speak. But other than that, I haven't heard from Mona for nothing. And ever.
I always wanted,
and I got love for her. Like she was like a sister. She's in my first video. I got a lot of love for her. But that doesn't I got more love for myself and I got more love for my community. You know what I'm saying? And I had to grow to that space. You know, her, you know, having 17 extra rooms isn't more important than what we're talking about. It is what it is. And, you know, and I'd rather see her be an advocate of what we're talking about. She's got money to help us do some of the things that we need to do. And, you know, one of the things that we need to do is definitely one of the first things we need to do as a community is, we need to go down every statute, every declaration, every amendment, and find what isn't structured to help us and fix it. It's never been done. Why? Like, why do we have to hear that a lynching law is still on the books? Like, there's so many things that are still on the books. And if these things are still on the books, can you imagine the things that haven't been addressed? They literally need to sit down. That's the first thing we need to put money towards. Let's sit down and go literally over everything and update it. Don't we get upgrades on our phone and just upgrade it.
Apple update.
Yeah, right. We're you know what I'm saying, where we already understand it's not gonna be fair.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be so wrong.
But do you really, I mean, and that goes back to really my question again.
Are we ready?
You know, and I understand you're ready.
We are.
Is the work, you know, because I mean, you see it just so much, even in the school systems, how some parents respond to teachers who are teaching their children.
Right.
No one's being accountable for
For
anything,
nothing.
blaming
Yeah.
who is trying to help, their baby succeed, but nowhere in that are they saying, are they ready to hear the truth? So now the school system doesn't even tell the parent the truth. They're
Right.
doing this, you know what, we'll go ahead and pass them anyway.
Right.
And I'm saying all that to say
they'll get a diploma and can't read. You're 100% right.
exactly. And the prison system is built.
It's waiting for them.
It's waiting for them. And by the time a child gets to third grade, if they cannot read, they're already counting the number of jail cells that they're going to need. So that's why another prison, when you were talking about that earlier, that's why another prison is built, because they're preparing for them.
Yeah, right. And the crazy part of
but hold on.
Go ahead.
Not to cut you short, but just say the one thing. Everything you said is 100% right. But the one thing that isn't addressed in "Are we ready?" is that everything you said was them making us not ready. You understand? Everything, the cause and effect of it, everything you just said breaks down to we've been ready. And if we don't move soon, it's just going to get worse.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have to move now. We have to move yesterday. And in moving now, we have to embrace. We are not going to save everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we have to embrace that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even about I'm going to try. Nah. Either you with us or you're not. Period.
Go back to deuces.
Right. Like I said, maybe next generation you fucks with us. But this generation we don't have time for this shit. No more. Like right now, I like one of the things that I'm asking for is I just want to be able to be, like if you're not, if you're, when I look at the natives, if you're not near the top of the totem pole, no one hears you. And that's how it is in the music industry and kind of in life.
Yeah.
Like Puffy and Jay, or, me going to have a conversation about what they should do with their money is ridiculous. But if I can come in as a contributor and ask them to match what I'm doing, then it's a conversation.
Right.
And no one's having that conversation. Well, at least that I know. I do know that, I expect, I don't know what to say, but I expect Jay to have a sensibility, whereas he probably does a few things that we probably never even hear of. You know what I'm saying? Just because I don't know, but I just expect that he has a sensibility to that degree. I don't see Puff to have it. Anything he would do, I see him totally blurting it. But just say, but regardless,
bro, we think so much alike it's scary.
But regardless of the characters, perceptions and the things thereof, that doesn't matter. What matters is what Malcolm X is saying, whereas the results, like there's gonna be, we can't get mad at each other because cats are doing different things in different ways for the same result. You know what I'm saying? Once we establish these are the things that we need to affect, how we get there might be a whole slew of different ways. Right. Especially because we're all on different levels, we're all in different parties, and there's a whole contingency of things to add into, but what we're doing doesn't change. And that's how we win. That's how we win. We start winning when together our families grow, and together we start pooling our resources as community.
Right.
And when they hurt one of us, we all show up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When they do anything to any of us, we all show up. And sometimes showing up is removing yourself. if they count on our dollar,
yes,
and they not treating us right, they can't
Take your
count on
money
our
for
dollar.
it. Yep.
but it feels like the only time that we want to show up is when, you know, a white cop shoots a black man, or, you know, all of that stuff
Mhm.
gets national attention, when there's so much stuff that we could be doing on our local levels.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Mhm.
the one
Right.
thing that I did was back in, I want to say 2015, when, you know, we had the whole Freddie Gray riots here in Baltimore. One thing that I did after the day after was to go down on.
Look at our legacy. Look at our legacy.
Look like the whole thing just
Our
went
legend,
know, right?
our legend up there messed it
It's
up.
like
technical difficulties.
let me see.
Our
Okay.
legend got difficulties. Y'all
You know
take
what I'm
some of that rice.
you know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying?
the rice.
I'm in my son's room, and
Take back that
and
rice.
it's not well lit, so I was trying to put a light somewhere, and you know, I do
What?
things like that, like a dad.
Gotcha. What I was
Sound like
saying
my
was
husband.
the one thing after, you know, after we lost Freddie Gray here in Baltimore, and then we had the riots, and, you know,
Mhm.
CNN and you know, all of the mass media decided to show up when they were gone. The one thing that I made a point of doing was to go down in that community of North Avenue and Pennsylvania Avenue and see what I could do to just help clean up, to see what I could do to just help give back. You know what I mean? Because they were there for the nonsense, but they weren't going to be there for the rebuild.
Mm.
Right? They never are.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Never
like
are.
what's Geraldo Rivera, you know,
Yeah.
right in the middle of North Avenue in Pennsylvania when CVS is burning down.
Yeah.
2 hours later, he's on a plane leaving Baltimore.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't realize he was such a clown when we were young.
Yeah, he was.
Like when we were young, I had no idea he was such a clown.
Yeah, he
like
was.
it was disappointing. It really was.
Yeah,
But
he really was.
but
Every time I think about him, I think about the KKK guy hitting him in the nose and breaking his nose. With
Breaking his nose.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Little do we know he deserved it. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? But just to say, like, you know, like, yeah, I had no idea Geraldo was such a clown. I was really disappointed because he had a power.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He had a power that he didn't live up to. But
Yeah.
but that's us.
Yeah.
We have a power that we're not living up to, and no more.
Right.
No more.
So let me ask you this: do you feel like Oprah is utilizing her power enough?
No. I mean, you know, like and I say that to say, like, no one is. I don't see testament that they exist.
Mm.
It is what it is. I don't see it. I don't see testament that they lived.
And
you know
let me say that
the shit that they weigh in a network, or I mean a Birkin bag. I mean, like, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, like she's Mona Scott. And I hate, to say it, but somebody should.
And let me say this: the only reason that I picked Oprah is because no. This is me personally. The only reason that I picked Oprah was because back when I was growing up, Oprah was actually on the local news here in Baltimore. So a lot of us in this city and in this community knew Oprah when she was 6-figure Oprah and not 7-8-figure Oprah. You know what I mean? And that's literally the only reason that I picked
$24,000.
Right.
Not yet.
Right.
And don't get it twisted. I know Oprah does a ton of shit that I didn't know she does.
Definitely.
I know this. And so, like, I say that to say, I want our elite. I'm not even gonna say leaders. I want our elite to ignite more than people wanting their money. Like that, because that's all it's become. Like, I was disappointed. I was having a conversation with some friends of mine, and I ain't gonna say the person's name, but it's an artist that's a nut, and like he's got hundreds of millions, if not $1 billion. But I was like, like, do you respect that dude? And they were like, yeah. And then I was like, you respect that? I was like, yeah. I said, and so I asked them why, and none of them could tell me why other than money. And I was so disappointed in them because I'm like, wow, like wow, man, like this person is, wow. Thank God they have money. You know what I'm saying? Because they have no character. They have nothing. Like if money is all you have, you're one of the poorest people in existence. You know what I'm saying? And cats, if my friends respect them or call themselves respecting him only because he's rich, then I guess everyone else falls in that line. And which to me is it's inspiring me to do things that money can't, and to do things that money should. Those are two things that I'm inspired to do right now. I'm inspired to do things that money can't and things that money should. You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, I think I thank God. Like I've never been a millionaire. I've always been able. I've been in the industry for 30 years, and I've always been okay. You know what I'm saying? I've always been fine. And I'm one of the luckiest people in the world as far as I'm concerned. I've been doing what I do for 30 years now, and I don't think I've ever been to work. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally get paid for my presence from Astoria projects. You know what I'm saying? Like I already won. Like I won a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? From where I came from to where I got to.
Right.
With a little decoy to North Carolina, right?
Yeah. I went to high school in North Carolina. My stepfather was in the Army. And so from New York, moved to Carolina, went to high school in Fayetteville. I was on Fort Bragg. And and then senior year I went to my parents, stepfather and mother separated, and then went to a small town and did my senior year in this town called Sanford. Then I came back to New York. So yeah, little excursion definitely. But just to say, I'm like,
he said, "Look small."
Sanford's like that big, literally. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's bug because like when I first was going to Carolina from New York, I was expecting this, this horrible Southern, like the everything bad that white people do is in the South.
Yeah.
So I was expecting to be face to face with everything white people do bad. And I was blessed that I went to high school called E.E. Smith in Fayetteville, which is probably about 85, 90% Black. And it was very progressive. And so, I'm from the projects in New York. Most of the kids aren't progressively into school. And, and the cool thing to be is intelligent. And I immediately, fell right in, like, oh, snap. Like it was so cool to me. And I started learning things that weren't even available to me in New York. Like I was a varsity letterman in tennis. I never played tennis in my life, but I played handball my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So for me to pick up a tennis racket, and put some slice on the ball or some top spin or chop it, I do that playing handball. So the tennis coach thought I played, and I'm like, nah, I never played this. He's a gym teacher. I didn't realize our gym teacher was a tennis coach. I'm like, nah, I never played this in my life. He's like, you're lying. He's like, let me work with you. I'm like, all right. Varsity letterman that year. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow!
The school I went to in New York didn't even, they didn't even have a football team, let alone tennis.
Oh wow! Not a football team.
Not even a football team.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So it was such a blessing in me being able to see other things early and absorb other things early, and me getting out of the classroom I was in and put into, a class where everybody looks like me, but they're not acting like the people like, oh, like y'all want me to shut up? All right. And like, oh, like I'm the one that's, so I had to become, like they really inspired me to to prove to myself that I'm just like everybody here. And matter of fact, I might even be on a higher spectrum. I have ability. I have ability. You know what I'm saying? I didn't prove it to you, and and so I started taking school real seriously.
Yeah.
And like thank God, because like the me generations ago didn't get a chance to. And my kids, they're gonna take it and they're gonna run with it, and their kids are gonna do the same. And that's what I want us all to do. I want us to prepare ourselves, ourself in future generations.
Right.
Because that's like we've been here before. Yeah, we've been here before and we'll be here later. You know what I'm saying? Like that's who we are. You know what I'm saying? And we get away from that sometimes. Like it's not just our journey, it's the journey of heritage.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So don't take heritage back. Don't lower the bar. We came too far. We came too far to coast.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And why are we coasting? We don't even have the right to coast.
Don't have the right to coast.
Yeah, he didn't drop a few of them tonight.
Yeah, I like that one. We don't have the right to coast. No, you don't.
We don't.
Right. We don't have the right to coast.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, and we ain't got to do it all in a day, but we do have to prepare our future self to advance the movement. It's imperative. Like, we'll be here again. We'll have this conversation again next generation. You know what I'm saying? And next generation, I want us to be talking about, remember when we did that?
Right.
I'm glad we did that.
Right.
What's next for us?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's how we got to start looking at it. We got to start looking at it. It's all perspective. You know what I'm saying? It's all perspective. Like when we put into a kid's head, like, they try to say, you can't learn this calculus. You gonna go for that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like you need to walk into a classroom, black kid, like you walk onto a basketball court.
Right.
I own this shit. This shit is me.
Yeah.
Can't nobody in here touch me. I'm dead nice.
Right.
And everything offered in here is me.
Right.
Period. Walk into the classroom like you walk on the basketball court.
And
own it.
Own it.
Own it. Word. That's who we are.
So the dopest thing about this whole conversation is that 90% of it has had nothing to do with music.
But actually,
that's how you write the best music.
Right.
Exactly.
The best music is through living.
I had so many questions that I wanted to ask him. And then Alenia, as we were saying before we came on air, we didn't want this to feel like this was just another Dres interview talking about, all of the black
regurgitated answers and regurgitated questions.
Like you came in and you set the tone, and I love it. But with that being said, I do have a couple of things that I want to ask you before we get out of here.
Yeah.
There were three people that I wanted to mention or that I wanted to ask you about. One was K Slay, one was Jay Dilla. I also wanted to ask you about your relationship with Fife. Because it was my favorite MC from Tribe Called Quest. No disrespect to none of the other members, but that was my favorite.
No. Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with having a faith. Like Fife, man. Like, I wish I had been more proactive towards the end of his life with getting in touch with him. Sometimes we take things for granted, and
sometimes we always take it for granted.
Continue
to be there.
Like I wouldn't say me and Fife was in. I wasn't talking to Fife like we used to talk when we were around each other when we were younger. So there was times when I wouldn't speak to Fife for a year, maybe 2 years. You know what I'm saying? At different points in time. Even the natives, like that's what we became. We became self-sufficient. And there's something to be said for that. But at the same time, being self-sufficient should mean negating family. And you know, and that's something that his death kind of taught me. That, you know, like I was mad at myself because I love Fife, and sometimes people that we love, they don't really. I mean, you know, of course, you know, the cats you came up with, all of them. You know, we all love each other. This and the other, but sometimes, loving each other is, you know, like, yo, I haven't talked to you in a year. I just needed to call and hear your voice, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Is there anything I can do for you, or you know, or anything, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so when Fife passed, I hadn't spoken to him. He had recently spoken about Everton, and you know, me and Jerobi had done some music, and there was an interview when he was giving us some shout.
Fire
You know?
album. I was gonna talk about that too. Yeah.
Peace, yo. Yeah, just to say, like, you know, like, so we always knew what each other were doing. Like, you know, like, it's like family, you know, like, you know what your cousins are into and other states and this and the other. But you don't reach out like you should sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And Fife had really dope qualities that a young me just looked through, didn't really see. You know what I'm saying? And as I grew older and life started humbling me, I started seeing Fife's face. You know what I'm saying? And and I never really got to share that with him.
Yeah.
And I think that's what hurt me, was that I knew I wanted to reach out to him and share a few things that, you know, that life had afforded me at this point. And I didn't get the opportunity to do that. But just to say though, like, just I have an extreme amount of respect for Fife and love, and he was a good person. Anyone that knew Fife, there's not much bad you could say about him. Even when you're mad at Fife, you're mad at him because he wants shit done the right way, and you probably don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, even if you're mad at him, it's like, just...
Hey, Dres, I remember you telling this story, man, about you guys leaving the club one night, and it's like 4:00 in the morning, and you guys are going to get on the subway.
Yep.
And everybody jumped the turnstile except for Fife, and you guys are looking back trying to figure out, yo, like, Fife, come on, it's 4:00 in the morning, nobody's.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. There's no one here. Like, come on.
But he wanted to pay his fare just because it was the right thing to do.
Oh, wow.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the truest tests of character, is doing the right thing when no one's
watching. Yep.
And that was Fife. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it took life humbling me to learn certain things. And so as I started learning certain things, you know, like I, you know, just have a flashback to certain things that I might have thought was one way, and oh shit, that I was wrong. You know? And you know, I've been wrong quite a few times in life. Life is definitely something where you can get a chance to kind of like, oh, I need to correct that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Like the point of reference is so important. Family is so important. It's the same things we're talking about. And wanting to correct yourself is important. You know, like we're all gonna make these mistakes, and there's some things in life that we're gonna do horribly. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we don't have a point of reference. Especially, like, you know, like if they've broken our families down so effectively that, you know, like a Black woman has put a price tag on fathering. You know, and one of the things that I have to stress is that, you know, a father's presence, you can't put a price tag on that. A father looking at his child with a glare is a deterrent. A father looking at his child with a smile is assurance. A father, you know, like a father's presence is much more than the court has deemed, and that a Black woman has bought into. Our family structure is worth much more than a monthly payment. And we've gotten to a place where that payment is more important than the fatherhood. You know what I'm saying? And that's wrong.
Hey, bro, one of my favorite hip hop songs is Ed O.G. and the Bulldogs, Be a Father to Your Child.
Yeah.
And he has a line in that song that says, it's not your presence, Presents,
yeah, but your presence.
it's your presence, Presence, in the essence of being there.
Right.
Man,
And what they've also effectively done is they've warped a black man's mind to think that he's not the father he should be if he's behind on payments, or if he's not situated to be promptly the giver of dividends. But being a father is so much more than that. You know what I'm saying? And it's implementing the things that money will never buy. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, a woman is quick to be like, you know, I got this. But your glare at some point isn't a deterrent anymore. Not dad's. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference. There's mothering of the child that the father is ill prepared for, but the mother is the perfect person for. We wouldn't put a price tag on that and say, if you don't pay this, you're less of a mother. Like, imagine how that's even sounds.
Imagine how that will go over.
But that comes from even the government did that
But the government is structured to not be fair to us.
Right. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. And it made it okay. Right. Like, it made it okay.
But we have to make it not okay.
And it's not okay.
But there's so many things that are okay that they, at one point slavery was okay. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many things that, that they've made okay that isn't okay. We have to be like, listen, this is how we have to navigate this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the exact route is, but as a couple, as a family, we figure this out. You know what I'm saying? And if I gotta hide in the attic when they come, or whatever has to happen, as a family, we'll do it. And once they broke down our family units beyond what it was already done, like, it's been the catalyst of us spinning out of control. Like, the children in Chicago, their fathers are in jail. It's obvious. It's obvious. Those kids all are growing up without their fathers. It's obvious. I don't need to assess anything. It's obvious. That's how they got us. I've spoken at Cook County Jail in Chicago to the kids that shouldn't be there. And like, they've structured it that, they're looking for us as soon as we walk out the house. And they're not looking for us because we did something wrong. They're just looking for us. Period. They just want to confront us. Period. It's the agenda. It's been the agenda. We start talking about, I'm just like you, but we're not. We're not.
Yeah.
We're better.
You saying that
time we started acting better. We're better. We're better than them. We're better. We would give one of the things that they fear is that given the opportunity, we would do to them what they did to us. But that's beneath us.
Man, come on.
You know what I'm saying? That's beneath us. Given the opportunity, we'd show them how they should have acted. You know what I'm saying? And like that's who we are. And that's what we got to remember. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about them anymore. At all. Yeah. From here on out, it's just us. We got this. We do. We got it. But we got to have these conversations. And we got to have these conversations with our kids. And we got to be a community. We like I said, family. Family is everything.
Yeah.
Family is everything. I was 40 years old when I found out what a nuclear family meant. That's crazy. I was 40 years old. That's how far away from family we are. I was 40 years old when I found out what a nuclear family was. That shit was crazy. That in white households, or that's just a regular word that they knew that they were. But I didn't grow up with a nuclear family, so I had no idea what it was. You know what I'm saying?
You thought family was just about the blood at that point?
I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of. And you know, and I come from a family that was dysfunctional. So, you know, like my father was a heroin dealer, you know, and, you know, like I'm moving around with my mom and stepfather because my father's crazy. And, you know, it's just a lot of shit was going on, you know, so on top of life being hard for everybody, no matter what color you are, you know, like then you put blackness on top of that, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, yeah, man, like we got work to do, you know, and this is my word. Now that I'm an adult, my story isn't unique. You know what I'm saying? It's generational. My story is generational. And it's like where I'm at now and where you're at now, you know, a few generations ago, we probably weren't. And where we are a few generations from now, I hope is in another place as well, you know, and none of it should be complacent. You know what I'm saying? None of it. Like, but we got to spark each other. And I'm very, very grateful for you guys allowing me to kind of just kick it with you and for you being very cool and intelligent and beautiful, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, because you recognize the beauty in blackness. You know, like we're everything. We're everything. You know what I'm saying? Like the world stops without us. You know? So
I don't even think we've come close to scratching the surface of what we really
of our ability.
Oh no.
Right, not right. Right.
I'm gonna keep putting my shirt up in the camera because we're greater. I brought this shirt over the weekend from a young brother that had a book signing, and I want to keep putting that up there because I feel like it's so crucial to the message that you're trying to give tonight. Like we are definitely greater together.
Yeah. We are and to harp in closing, to harp exactly on that. That's what the natives didn't understand, and I was trying to tell them, like, yo, that even though all of us as individuals are okay, right? Us together is 10 times what us as individuals are, and we made these records about blackness, about unity, about community, about education, about doing for self, about unifying. But then we didn't become a microcosm of the thing we were asking people to be. Right. And that's what hurts me. Like I'm literally hurt that, you know, like we made these important records and had this important energy and didn't facilitate the example. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned that a point of reference is very important. Yes. Very important. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the kids that'll see it. Yeah. And they might not even understand it when they see it. But they'll see it. And at some point, they'll connect the dots. Yeah. Especially when it connects to them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like these are the conversations we got to keep having, you know, and sometimes it's not about music, you know, but sometimes it is. Make sure y'all check out this new Sheep still.
It was a couple of times when I was trying to steer it that direction, but the stuff that you were talking about was so powerful that it's like, you know, music is second nature, man. Music is like the icing on the cake. But, you know, when someone in your position, you know, when we can give you a platform to talk on stuff that important and you just run with it the way that you did, man, it's you know, I'm good with it.
I'm one of those. That's another thing that hurts me about the natives. We're an important voice that's missing.
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Very important.
Imagine if native tongues were created in 2021, 2022.
Right.
How much
Right.
of an impact you guys could have right now.
Right. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. Like, you know, like that's what it's really about. You know, it's about saying things that advance the bar, not lower it. You know what I'm saying? It's about implementing those thoughts that make you wonder, what? Wait a minute, that affects me? I've got to do something about that.
Yeah.
This is not, we're not talking baby seals here. We're not talking, you know, adopt a cat with 10 cents a month. No, we're talking about us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like they have the, not even say ability, but they have the audacity to be able to do shit like that. They can save polar bears that they'll never see. You know what I'm saying? But
elephants. And,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. But we can't save family that we're right next to.
That we're touching every day.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Impact the environment that you want to see grow.
Right. Right.
Yep.
You know, and but this is my word. I'm gonna get some money and I'm gonna talk my shit.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. That's just what I have to do. You know, like I've never been a rich person, but I've always been wealthy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, I think the last thing I have to do is just make some money, just so some people could hear me.
Yeah.
All right, Oprah, I'm coming. Conversation.
You hear it right here, Oprah, right here.
You know? Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you know, and like I said, I know people of means do a lot of things that probably we just don't see.
That we don't see, right.
But it's important that we do.
Yeah,
it's important that we do, because you know, like it's important. I definitely want to kind of close it out because I'll start talking. We'll be another hour and a half.
You're right, go again, y'all.
You know, but it's important that we stop looking at our entertainers as our leaders. Number one, but it's also important that our entertainers start leading. You know what I'm saying? Our entertainers are not our leaders. You know what I'm saying? If you want life advice from an entertainer, basketball player, or someone on television actor, just have them read for you first. All right? I probably change your whole perspective on the help you want. And secondly, we have people that are brilliant minds to lead. We don't hear from them. We don't give them platforms. We don't support them. We don't find them. You know, they're there. It's like almost like good hip hop. It's there. They're just not playing it. You have to demand it. You have to demand that some of the stuff that they're playing that they don't. You know, like you can't eat French fries every single day for every meal, but that's what they feeding us. You know what I'm saying? And they'll keep feeding us that until we say, no, I need a well-rounded meal. I'd like a salad. Do you have any chicken? Or, you know what I'm saying? They'll just give us French fries every day because it'll keep us alive. You know what I'm saying? But the quality of life, you know, it might as well be fucking slop.
Yeah.
You know, like so many things are plantation mentality. You know, and just because we don't see the plantation, we think that, you know, it's something that is not. But Trump clearly showed us half of America, you know, I think every black person was like, I really thought we were a little better than we are.
We lost you, Dres.
Oh.
There you go.
You hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to say, I really thought every black person in America thought we were a little bit better off than we are. Like to see half of the country, like literally, you know, that means half of the white people I know hate me. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't realize this. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like half the country.
Now
was
I know.
Like,
and it really didn't come out. It really didn't come out until Trump started running. That's the sad part.
Until he made it fashionable.
It made you
It made it okay for them to just be blatant.
Yeah, right.
All right, Dres, a couple of more things. Quick answers. Are we going to get another Everton album?
Possibly. Me and Jerobi, I just texted Jerobi recently. Yeah, I think we miss each other, and I would like to do another one. We'll see how it plays out. And
Okay.
I was really happy because, like, right off the heels of the Evertan album, Jerobi did the Tribe album, and he was so much more of a contributor, writing and rhyming, and I knew that was a direct reflection of the project that we did, and so that really just made me happy that I had something to do with him advancing as an artist. It was dope. It was the Everton project was amazing as well. It was just so fun to do.
We definitely need a second album from you guys because the first project was absolutely amazing. And then lastly, the new music that you're working on, because I haven't even begun to touch on. I didn't touch on Pool of Genius or none of this. Like, bro, we just went.
I'll come back. I'll come back. It's all good.
Absolutely. And shout out to MJ Savino. Also.
MJ is, y'all love MJ. She's just the best person, and just about her business. Like she'll have me working from here till infinity.
Four-time publicist of the year, by the way.
All right, 4 times.
That's right.
I feel that. Yeah, she deserves. Like she's dope, and any artist that needs a publicist, you need to find MJ. She's the real deal. Where, but real quick, I want to just let everybody know. New project. It's called Sheep Stew. I did an EP. The EP just the first single came out Friday. It's called Simple. Go to YouTube. You can punch up the video. Simple by. You just put in Simple Sheep Stew. STU, and the video come up. Now I'm releasing music. I'm releasing this EP, but I'm releasing it very differently. I'm trying to do something outside of the box because they've effectively removed a hard sale from our music. And it kills us as artists. And they now want us to be paid off streaming. And it's like you got to get 1 billion streams to get like $8.
Right.
So what I'm trying to do is effective. And the way we kind of receive music is a little different. Cats will get it if they do buy an album, which is rare. They buy an album, they'll just skim through it and pull the couple of cuts that they like to add to their playlist. And the rest of the album is literally never heard. So I wanted to do something different because my music is different than the music that they do that to. So what I'm doing is, like I said, 5-song EPs, and what I'm going to do it is I'm going to have you listen to every song weekly. I'm releasing a song every week. The first one was Friday just passed. I released Simple with a video. This Friday coming up, the second song is Hate. Third Friday is the third song. Now, in the meantime, you can order a physical CD, a T-shirt, and a poster, and receive that before the 4 weeks is up. And I'm week by week giving you the thing, but you have to make the purchase, the hard sale purchase to get it. You know what I'm saying? So week by week, I'll be releasing a new single, and some of the weeks I'll have a video, and some of the weeks I'm doing live every Thursday to talk about next week's this week's single. And so just walk with me, y'all. I'm trying to do something that's a little unorthodox, a little bit out the box, but I think is in the best interest of being an independent artist, and in the best interest of supporting an artist that you would like to see more of, or like if I was whack, then cool, but I'm not whack, so I want y'all to support what I'm doing
at all,
right.
And hopefully I can keep doing it
at all. But bro, I definitely appreciate this conversation.
Thank you.
Like I said, I had a ton of stuff that I wanted to touch on, man, but I feel
I'll come back.
No, and we'll definitely talk about getting you back, but I feel like the conversation that we had today was a conversation that you can't place a value on that conversation. We could have this and truth be told, if it wasn't for the fact that I wanted to go watch this show that's about to come on HBO, I could keep you here for another hour myself.
No, you couldn't. My wife is not happy.
Just in principle. Just in principle. But
you can't give me back though.
Taking the time to hang with us, man, and just
to
drop some major knowledge that we all needed to hear, man.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, thank you again. Shout out to MJ Savino. And we're gonna end the show with the video that you just talked about, man.
Cool.
We might as well just go ahead and
Excellent.
Just go ahead and put that out there.
All right. I gotta sign off. I appreciate y'all so much. And
thank you.
I'll see y'all again soon.
Absolutely.
I'm not you. You're not crew. I like you. Some shots too. We're not cool. You're not true. Who still gave me this, gave me an easy one. A bottomless pit, nobody sees me, son. Patient, kill your reincarnation, yo, that's when we be done. Told my wife I'm about to blow, go ahead and leave me, hon. I'll never be whack, already took the oath. Long time, a good time, crazy, I came for both. Yours a kind of perspective, I say yo, be a duck, cause see, boys would rather steal from their moms and let you fuck for free. Realize sucking and fucking me's a luxury. Tell them that till they believe even the mustard seed, the black sheep. Howling in the night, somebody wants to feed. Raindrops fall on your head, somebody must have paid. It was probably me, minus the probably. Proceeded robbery, turned homicide, woke up hard as could be. Life's a lottery, meaning lies in the odyssey. Ain't lived until you give your grandkids a lobotomy. A deaf nigga, blind niggas trying to see. Plant your feet firmly right there where your bottom be. Now lift with your knees and push the world up. I really think one of us should give your girl up. Simple, I'm not you, you're not crew. I like you, some shots too. You're not cool, you're not true. Simple, I'm not you, you're not crew. I like you, some shots too. You're not cool, you're not true. Since the day she jumped me in, I said the fish is great. But soon as we got off the lot, the shit depreciate. Talking about we family, my family started to hate. Thinking about if our side pieces had started to date. My lofty thoughts could put a smile on the Mona Lisa. I'm on the subway, watching the rat eating pizza. Heard you on that jam, yeah, I thought you made it suck. Your mom's be all up in my grill since she heard I gave a fuck, Picking up steam like a hot pipe, sticking up cream. Pissing on dreams, knees bent, picking up lean. Won't say what we did, I will say she played a part. And if it's all about taste, her face displays art. How can you waste the heart? I won before the race could start. Rhymes displace the chart and make your face look like you taste the fart. Fuck the chrome, get your chromosome up. Or be buried in a red or styrofoam cup. My response to everything you said is I'm a grown up. Are you jealous about your girl? Should I shoot your home up? Came to get it sewn up with the like-minded. Bangers blasting our whole cast and right behind it. Y'all, simple, I'm not you, you're not crew. I like you, some shots too. You're not cool, you're not true. Simple, I'm not you, you're not crew. I like you, some shots too. You're not cool, you're not true. Y'all.
And that video goes on for like another 3 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it there.
He true to himself.
Bro, the crazy part, I don't do homework on guests often. I like things to flow.
Mm-hmm.
But you could tell from the very beginning of him coming on that he just had some stuff that he needed to get off his mind, and it just ended up being great conversation. Like I said, conversation that was definitely need to be had. Shout out to my girl T Quest checking in. Yeah, we got to get him back for part 2 because it was so much stuff. But I respect the direction, that it went in.
Right.
And, man, I pray that he gets the money that he wants because, it feels like he's getting ready to do, all of the right things. But I appreciate everybody that checked in with us today, man. Shout out to all of our viewers on YouTube and on Facebook.
Yes, thank you.
If you aren't doing anything at 9:00, which is about 10 minutes from now, go on over to HBO and check out the first episode of the new series, We Own the Streets, I believe is the name of it.
Okay.
This is another show that HBO is doing based here in Baltimore. And this one is actually centered around the Gun Trace Task Force. And if you know anything about Baltimore and the Gun Trace Task Force and all of the that they've created over the past few years and all of the stuff that they've gotten into, you'll definitely want to check that out. One of the stars of the show is Trey Chaney, who is from The Wire. And actually quite a few members from what I can see. I think it's about 4 or 5 people from The Wire that are actually in this show, but this is another show from the writers and creators of The Wire.
Okay.
So I think that this will definitely be something, worth looking into. Unfortunately, something that kind of shines a negative light on our city, but then kind of shines a light that needs to be shined on our city, because people really need to know the ins and the outs of what we're going on with the task force. So, with that being said, I'm getting ready to go so that I can check that out.
All right.
Remember, we are greater. I love this shirt.
Yes.
I love this shirt. Lainey, I appreciate you, sis, as always. We'll be back
You're
soon.
welcome.
Make sure you continue to follow us on our YouTube channel, our
Yep.
Facebook live page, as well as all of our social media, Instagram, whatever. Be sure to keep us locked. Access granted. The
Yes.
acapellas and acoustics. I was getting
Oh,
ready to get
you
that mixed
tried
up.
it.
If you haven't seen the last 2 episodes that we've done, definitely go to our YouTube channel and check those out. We've had some great artists, and I have some great people coming up. I might even get Alenia to sing a cappella for y'all, maybe.
Y'all might be sing. I'm background.
Singing in the background.
I'm background.
I know that's right. That's the way I choose to be as well. So I definitely understand. I definitely appreciate you, sis. Give all of the love in the world to little lady. Tell her
I
Mr.
will.
Antoine loves her and glad that she's doing okay. And with that being said, we will get out of here. We will see you guys next week with another
Good
episode of
night.
Access Granted, the Partial.
Yes. Good night.
Absolutely.